My name is Olutoni Philippino and I am an apparel launch consultant. The objective of my firm is to prepare West African fashion designers for the global market, whether they choose to sell locally or globally.
Being the Chief Executive Officer and the Creative Director of Rosemary Akwashiki Clothing Line, our vision is to create a global brand that inspires creativity while connecting Africa to the world, through fashion.
You constantly said that in class.
Exactly.
That's exactly.
Has always been my dream.
Yes.
That has always been my vision, right? To connect Africa to the world through fashion.
So how did this all start? I run executive classes for fashion designers every now and then, and it was at the maiden edition that I met Rosemary. In one of the classes, I remember asking them for their name and for their logo. Rosemary gave me her name, but I didn't think she was owning it. Then I asked her for her logo. She showed me the logo and it was a scissors. A scissors.
Like, I remember how much fun you made of me then. We really joked about it. It wasn't funny then, but now when I think back, it was quite interesting. And it actually got me thinking. I remember in November 2019, I actually met Tony when I attended her executive course titled
Branding for Global Competitiveness.
Yes. And I remember when, I can recall when Tony said, we should talk about our brand names and logos and all of that. And, we made this joke about me having
a scissors,
as part of my logo. In fact, she referred to the movie. I remember this movie Divergent, when you said that if my brand was still in existence in that era, a scissors would have been in a museum. I really laughed about it, and I went back, and I critically thought about it. And not just that, because Tony mentioned then that the name of the brand didn't sound complete, and she suggested I change the brand name to mine. But for me it was very, very difficult. Why? Because I had a sentimental attachment to that name. Ashezi is actually my daughter's name, and I knew she was never going to forgive me, if I decided to change the brand name after all the work she had put in, because she was always modeling for the brand. So I had to take on another option. I decided to convert Ashezi
to a bespoke
tailoring brand, and that was how Rosemary Akwashiki brand was vetted.
Who is the Rosemary Akwashiki woman? One of the important pieces in our process is defining the target market. We must understand their personality, understand how they react to certain things, understand what they would respond to and what they would respond to, because all of this will be applied on the various platforms that, we would have to communicate to them on. And so the Rosemary Akwashiki woman is a woman who you would term as the madam. She is actually a very calm and collected woman. She's very poised. I would like to liken her to a cool, calm water body, when you actually see a water body that is cool, because sometimes, they can riot. So
something like a lake.
Exactly. And basically, that's who that woman is.
Yeah. I recall one of the first thing I did was to come up with a customer avatar, describing the Rosemary Akwashiki woman to a T. In fact, I described her as an actual person, and that helped a lot. Whether single, whether married, as a calm, unassuming woman who doesn't want to put too much effort into her dressing. A Rosemary Akwashiki woman is a woman who loves to look chic, who wants to dress effortlessly. And I see myself as that ideal person, and which makes it actually easier to define and to design clothes, for people like me.
That's the point exactly.
Exactly. Particularly, I remember when you asked the question where you said, if the Rosemary Akwashiki woman was a particular type of music, what type of music would that be? Wow. It was amazing, but now that I think back, it actually helped me to define who the Rosemary Akwashiki woman really is. so it was worth it.
I'm glad. It was a whole process of basically scratching the surface of who you are so that you could become in your products.
I remember all the questions. It wasn't easy answering them, but at the end of the day, it was worth my while. It was a lot of work. In fact, the process of coming up with the brand and all was a lot of work. I remember the series. In fact, I think more than 50 questions. Tony had us answer in class and everything. It was a lot of process. And then, everything that has gone into the whole designing, production and everything has been a whole lot of work. I remember the first set of samples we made. We had to practically, dump all of them, change fabrics and start afresh. So it's been a lot of work, but then it's been worth my while.
The collection looks beautiful.
Thank you.
The story behind the Rosemary Akwashiki collection for the Harmattan season. Rosemary said to me, I like African fabrics, but we had to be clear on what that meant. We are quick to make the assumption that Ankara is an African fabric.
Tony didn't support me doing anything African. So it's like African designers always, whenever you see them, everything you see is African, African, African. So she was actually against it from the beginning.
Yes. I was against it because Ankara is not our fabric.
Yeah.
Ankara is an African-inspired fabric designed by the Dutch for the African market. So, it's really not ours. Which was why I said to you, why would you want to use an African fabric that every African fashion designer associates with? Why don't you come up with something that is for you, for your woman? And which is why you dug in deeper and you said, okay, you know what, I like the Adire. But the twist here is this. I had to ask Rosemary, you need to research on why Adire exists in the first place. How did those patterns come about and why people start painting on fabrics? What was the purpose? Why did they do it? And I think that gave her a deeper meaning as to why.
Because during my research, I actually found out that in those days, women actually are the ones who started making Adire in Nigeria. And in those days, women were not allowed to express themselves. They weren't allowed to speak in public. And for them at the time, they found a means of communicating their thoughts, of getting heard, and they did that through, painting on fabrics and all of that.
Various patterns to mean several things.
And I think that was one of the reasons why I actually, gave me a firmer belief, to go into using Adire.
You see, the truth about it is this. Fashion is actually 70% science and 30% creative expression. Now, if you don't have the deeper understanding of something that inspires you, you are likely to express it poorly.
Exactly. And so far so good. I found out, that has worked for me, because having a deeper sense of understanding of the Adire print and what it entails and how it came about has really, really helped, especially even in coming up with my designs.
Honestly, for me, the fact that you constantly listened, you knew exactly when to take a guide, you knew when not to take it, you were very, very precise as to how you wanted the whole thing to come out. Even though, yes, you had help, but still, it didn't take away from you. It added to you. And you were able to actually think more inwardly to bring out much more of yourself than that you didn't think you had?
The whole process, you've helped me go through in setting up the brand has been very, very helpful, has been very, very productive. One of the things I remember you saying so much was that, see, you don't even compare yourselves with the local brands. Look at the international brands. Look at the likes of Gucci, the Versace. Benchmark them. So for me, that was what I always had in mind, building this brand. One of the things we've tried to do with Rosemary Akwashiki is, find the way, to use our own ethnic and African fabrics, to create internationally suitable pieces that would be acceptable anywhere in the world. And not just that, because I think during the process, now I came to understand that a lot of women, right, had issues, especially women who have like a particular body shape, those who are pear-shaped, those who are rectangular shaped. They had a lot of issues, getting outfits that really flatter their figures.
True.
And I happen to be one of them. So one would notice that most of our pieces would actually be pieces that are very, very suitable for this body type.
True.
Do you understand? And then I would say our pieces are very timeless, they are versatile. So a dress I could wear to church, I could wear to work, I could wear for a party, and all of that. So basically what we've tried to do is making dressing up very, very easy,
convenient,
and very, very convenient, especially for boss ladies who don't have time to invest in spending hours, trying to dress up. So we have something for everyone, and I'm sure everyone would find something, interesting in our pieces.
Well done, Rosemary.
Thank you.
Well done.
To me, and I really appreciate working with you, and I hope we'll get to do more work in the future.
I honestly wish this brand, your brand, greater heights from now henceforth, and
Thank you.
I trust that it would do exceedingly well in the market.
Thank you.